번째 연사분을 바로 소개해 올리겠습니다. 와이스 레이팅스의 대표 이사님입니다. 마틴 오에스님께서 The Dark World of Crisis or the Bright World of Blockchain이라는 주제로 발표를 준비해 주셨습니다. 대기하고 계시는데요. 서두로 모시겠습니다. 여러분 박수로 환영해 주세요. Please.
Good afternoon. We stand today, right here and now, at the crossroads of history for mankind. The government of Korea, the government of Japan, the United States, European Union, and many other countries have to make a choice. They have to make a life-changing, world-changing choice. They will provide clarity and standards needed to encourage blockchain development, or they will continue to debate the topic endlessly, suppress its development, even ban many currency applications. Most government officials in most countries don't think this is very important. Their eyes are focused on the escalating political and economic conflicts around the world. They think these global conflicts are the main arena. They think blockchain technology is just a sideshow, but they are wrong. Today, given the promise of non-blockchain technologies like Hashgraph, instead of talking about blockchain, I will refer more often to the broader term distributed ledger technology, or DLT. And just this month, in order to discuss DLT, I went to Washington, D.C. I visited the U.S. Congress. I spoke for many hours to the staff of major congressional committees that are debating DLT in the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. And now, for the first time, I am ready to announce what we discovered. Most American leaders are confused about DLT, and they are also very angry. I'll explain why in a moment, but first let me show you why this debate about DLT is so important at this particular moment in history. Let me show you how it can make the difference between a bright new world and a dark old world. A bright new world and a dark old world. In the dark world, we see black clouds. And descending from those clouds, we see a series of black swans. Black swans are surprise events that strike without warning and with great destructive power, like the black swan that attacked the financial capital of the world on 9/11, causing great loss of life and treasure, setting off a chain reaction that continues to ricochet through time. America's invasion of Iraq, the fall of Saddam Hussein, the emergence of terrorist groups that have spread chaos and death around the globe. At the same time, in parallel with the black swans of global political crisis, we see black swans of global economic crisis, like the black swan that attacked the very heart of the world's banking system with great loss of savings and wealth, setting off a chain reaction of events that continue to ricochet through time. Not a giant terrorist attack, but a giant financial failure. Not on September 11th, 2001, but on September 15th, 2008. The failure of Lehman Brothers, the collapse of home prices all over the world, the deepest economic recession in over 80 years, the largest bank failures and bank rescues of all time, and then the most massive printing of paper money by central banks this planet has ever seen, threatening hyperinflation if they continue, or risking deep depression if they decide to stop. So you see, the rising tide of geopolitical conflict, or even war, and the rising tide of economic crises, two powerful historical cycles that are converging, gaining momentum, and reaching a crescendo. These are the cycles that give birth to the black swans I just told you about. These are the cycles that could create more black swans that no one can tell you about. In Eastern Europe, in the Middle East, and yes, on the Korean Peninsula. Pessimists believe that this dark, chaotic world is our destiny, our only destiny. But they also are wrong. We have a choice. We have a second choice. And this second choice is precisely because of something very unique that happened soon after the first wave of the debt crisis, soon after the second black swan that I showed you, the one that struck with the failure of Lehman Brothers on September 15th, 2008. That's when this new technology was born with the invention of Bitcoin. But before I say another word, let me introduce myself. My name is Martin Weiss, and I am the founder of Weiss Ratings, the world's only cryptocurrency ratings. And today, my presentation is about the world's only rating agency that assigns grades to cryptocurrencies. I showed you that so you know exactly where I come from, Florida. And also so, if you want to visit someday, you know where we are. Our company's headquarters are in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And if you're not 100% sure where that is, you can just watch that video again. So now that you know where we are, please come and visit someday. That's there. Now we're here. And here in Korea, I'm 72 years old. In most countries, I'm still 71 years old, but here I'm 72. So in addition to coming from a faraway place in space, I also come from a faraway time. So in addition to, in fact, sometimes I feel like I come from a distant planet. You can just see the way I dress. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not part of the infighting and mudslinging that many in this industry seem to be so passionate about. And at Weiss Ratings, we have no bias for or against any particular blockchain project. For the new world of rating cryptocurrencies, I decided we needed two things, not just our 47 years of experience in traditional asset research, but also the expertise of younger analysts who know the cryptocurrency industry. And so we hired them in North America, South America, Europe, and Asia, and Australia. In fact, our lead analyst has also just flown in to Seoul to join us here. He will be speaking here tomorrow. His name is Juan Villaverde. He has been a passionate analyst of cryptocurrency white papers since 2012. He specializes in advanced mathematics, in econometrics, and in creating computer models that crunch massive amounts of data. That's the scientific approach we applied to launch our cryptocurrency ratings in January of this year. We first announced them on CNBC.
What we've done is built a model, a computer model, that looks at cryptocurrencies from many different angles and provides a rational, reasoned, rigorous research that investors need so desperately right now in this space.
See, I'm even wearing the same tie and the same suit over there. As you may recall, at that time, our C+ rating for Bitcoin created quite a stir in the crypto world. But in the meetup tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m., Juan and I will show you exactly why we gave Bitcoin a C+. We will give you our latest ratings on about 104 blockchain projects, and we will reveal how we do it. That's also when we will talk about the more technical aspects. We'll dive deeper into your technical questions. Today, I want to keep the focus on the big picture. And the big picture is those two different kinds of worlds that regulators and everyone in the industry must choose from: the old dark world and the new bright world. I just showed you some images from the dark old world, which are unfortunately a part of our current reality. Now let me show you some images of the bright new world, which could become a reality in the not-too-distant future. Already, we see a number of business leaders taking steps to adapt and adopt blockchain. And as you know, it's happening all over the world. But since I come from the United States, let me give you some examples of what's happening in the United States. America's largest retail chain, Walmart, is testing blockchain technology to speed up its operations, reduce spoilage, and cut inventory costs. Record-keeping that previously took a week could take just seconds. Meanwhile, America's largest pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and Genentech are seeking to use blockchain to weed out counterfeit drugs from the medical supply chain. We have a transformation taking place now in the credit card world with MasterCard. MasterCard has filed 25 blockchain patents last year, making it one of the most active filers of DLT patents in the world. We have large banks filing blockchain patents to create more secure, faster, and economical checking and wire transfer services. Blockchain is being explored for use in dozens of American hospitals to secure the privacy of medical records. And mind you, all of these applications are based largely on centralized blockchain. With decentralization, we can accomplish much, much more. Banks and credit card companies won't need wire transfers to begin with. In the health industry, all medical records can be uploaded, processed by artificial intelligence. Big pharmaceutical companies, who right now are addicted to the profits they make by selling addictive drugs, will have to change their ways too. And in this new trend to DLT, we have a few projects, a few leaders that stand out in the present, and we have a few other blockchain projects that stand out as leaders of the future. We will name those projects tomorrow here at 2 p.m. For now, is it 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? Maybe, I think it's 3 p.m. For now, suffice it to say that with advanced distributed ledger technology, you, and only you, will have direct control over your wealth, over your money, and you will get back your privacy. Facebook was recently in the news because it sold your private information to a rogue British company. In fact, Facebook's entire business model has been based on tracking us and our friends, even creating games to psychologically profile us, and then selling our private information for a profit. That will not be possible with distributed ledger technology. And these are just a few of the many major problems that advanced DLT will solve in the future. Now, some investors, maybe some of you, saw that future coming, and that's one reason why prices rose so high last year in 2017. That's one reason why investors last year made so much money in cryptocurrencies. And that's why they have the potential to make so much more money in the future. Unfortunately, some government officials still see blockchain as a threat. they have been too slow to recognize the key benefit of DLT is security. Not only security for the people, but also security for the government itself. Now, that's also important for us personally, because companies like Facebook and Google, or big banks and credit rating agencies know so much about us. They've gathered our information, they've stored it in data centers, and they've connected their data centers to the web with millions of computers all over the world. That makes our personal identity a sitting duck for hackers. As you well know, bad actors can steal everything, and they do it all the time. They can take your government pension check. They can, which is Social Security in the United States, they can file fake tax returns. They can take your money that was supposed to go to you. Plus, they can use your credit cards to fly first class around the world with our money. Last year, for example, there was a massive security breach at Equifax, one of the largest credit rating agencies. Hackers stole the personal information of 143 million Americans. At Target, another giant retail chain in the United States, 70 million customer accounts were hacked. Even JP Morgan Chase was a victim. Yes, it's an American banking giant with tremendous resources and technical savvy, but it still couldn't protect the privacy of its clients. It suffered a major cyber security breach as hackers broke in and stole the account information of 76 million customers. Now, this is almost impossible with DLT. As you well know, the data is dispersed across multiple sites, and no one person, no one company has the keys. To break in, hackers would have to penetrate an insurmountable number of computers all over the world. That's almost an impossible feat for hackers. Now, you know this, but do most government regulators know it? If not, it's up to us, it's up to you to explain it to them clearly. In the meantime, you can see why some of the world's largest companies are desperate for this kind of technology. It is to protect their massive databases. You can see why the demand for this technology is just beginning to surge in the United States, in Korea, in Japan, in China. Plus, with this surging demand, you can also see why the profit opportunities for investors are so enormous in the cryptocurrencies that use the most advanced technology. The billion-dollar question is, which cryptocurrency will be the next big winners? And again, Weiss cryptocurrency ratings can help give you the answer. They're based on tens of thousands of daily calculations on each cryptocurrency. And we feel they're essential for everyone, investors, developers, regulators, in order to cut through the hype, to identify the few truly solid, most promising cryptocurrencies. We evaluate each cryptocurrency's technology, adoption, investment risk, and investment rewards. Our ratings are scientific and 100% unbiased. They are unbiased because ever since we began Weiss Ratings in 1971, we have never accepted money from the issuers or the sponsors, and we never will. We rate 53,000 companies, and we never take 1 cent in compensation in any form from the companies we rate. Our revenues are derived exclusively from the sale of our research and our ratings to users, investors, and others. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the technologies with the best promise. Thanks to their superior speed, they could rapidly process stock and bond transactions without the need for stock exchange or clearinghouses. They could replace millions of credit card transactions, processing and settling them across the globe at a tiny fraction of the My video disappeared. Sorry. Looks like the video stopped. No problem. They could manage supply chains of multi-billion-dollar companies, even Amazon's. They could manage every insurance policy, payment, claim, and settlement in the world. They could do all of those things more privately, more accurately, faster, and more securely. Now, you probably know this, but have you explained it clearly to decision makers that you know? If I were you, I'd especially stress security. Security is of ultimate importance for individuals, and it's also of ultimate importance for governments. In the United States, for example, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have recently reported that foreign hackers have sought to penetrate critical infrastructure in the United States. That includes energy, nuclear, commercial facilities, water, aviation, manufacturing, even the CIA, and it's getting worse. In the Republic of Korea, I must assume these kinds of threats are equally concerning. But the technology of advanced DLT could allow all of these facilities to run their operations with greatly reduced threat from hackers or cyber attackers. And this is just the first phase of the bright world that distributed ledger technology can help support. The images I showed you are of the past. The images of the future can be in your mind's eye, in your imagination, and they will be far more inspiring that way. Imagine a world in which black swan events will not occur or are less likely to occur. A world in which central banks cannot print paper money recklessly or destroy the value of your earnings. A world in which inflation and deflation cannot reach destructive extremes. A world in which it becomes much more difficult for anyone to invade your privacy, seize your assets, or trample your political rights. A world in which opens up access to financial accounts for 80%, 90%, even 99% of the planet's population. A world in which global income is more evenly distributed and wealth is less concentrated. A world in which bad actors are less likely to have the means, the will, or the popular support to cause chaos. A world in which we, the people, and they, the government, will not have to trade freedom for safety. A world in which everyone can enjoy both freedom and safety at the same time. Now, it can't be a perfect world, but it can be a planet where stability and hope are the universal norm, chaos and fear the rare exception. So there you have it. Two entirely different worlds, two entirely different paths, one dark, one bright. One world will lead to more dictatorships, more invasions of sovereign nations, more bank failures, more inflation, more depression, and more chaos. The other world will lead to more moderate monetary policy, more democracy, broader participation in the economy, less extreme cyclical fluctuations, better governance, better conflict resolution, plus more stability. So, what can regulators do to help steer the course of history in the right direction? Well, as I mentioned before, this month, I visited Washington, D.C. I spent a couple of days at the offices of the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives. So let me give you a quick report. What do you think their primary concern is right now? What do you think they're worried about? They're worried about Russia. Russia's role in the 2016 presidential elections that brought Donald Trump to power. Russia's role in the coming November elections that will decide which party controls the U.S. House of Representatives, plus Russia's role in other cyber attacks against the United States. I was there. I saw it and heard it myself. I could barely walk 10 paces down the corridors of the U.S. Congress offices without hearing about Russia. And now, quite a few people in the U.S. Congress are connecting the Russia crisis with Bitcoin. When I met with the staff of various congressional committees, I thought we were going to talk mostly about the bright new world of blockchain. No. Instead, their primary focus right now is the dark world of cyber war and cyber crime. They believe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies enable these activities. I explained, no, banning cryptocurrencies is not possible. It's not desirable. They said they know that. I told them they cannot police the entire internet. They cannot chase down and catch every criminal. They said they know that too. So here are the solutions I will propose to them, and the same solutions I would also propose to policymakers in Korea. First and foremost, government regulators should recognize that they need help. They can't do it alone. They need help from the blockchain industry. They need help from analysts. And they need help from you, investors and users. They cannot do it alone. Now, we don't have enough time right now to review everything that needs to be done to build a partnership between government and industry, between regulatory agencies and self-regulatory organizations. So let's just discuss the first step. Let's just discuss how we need to get this process started. Everyone here in this room, if you want to make money in cryptocurrencies, or if you're a regulator and you want to see the industry grow without scams, what do you need? Do you need a lot of money? No. Do you need a lot of people? No. You need hard, objective data. You need data. We need data. And we need everyone to get easy access to that data. Everyone in this room. Everyone who's interested in cryptocurrencies. And so today, we call on the industry. We call on legislators. And we call on regulators to help make that possible. We call on the government of the Republic of Korea and of other leading governments of the world to help the blockchain industry set standards for that data, standards for disclosure about the technology in white papers, standards for financial disclosure by ICOs, standards for data on things like transaction speed, volume, scalability, and much more, standards for data on team experience of an ICO, their assets, their liabilities, their business plans. We need standards. We need data. We need standards for easy access to that data. We need standard mathematical formulas for analyzing the data. And this year, we will provide to the U.S. Congress a white paper that proposes all of those standards. We will provide a list of all the key data series. We will include a list of all the key technical features that we must be disclosed to the public. And we will share that white paper with you as soon as possible. Data is not boring. Data is a powerful force, and it is a source of empowerment. It is the essence of knowledge. It will give regulators the clarity they need. The regulators then will create regulations that give the DLT industry the clarity that it needs. And with the clarity of regulation in turn, it could make a big difference. A big difference for everyone here. It could even help make the difference between the dark old world and the bright new world. That choice is ours to make, and the time is right now. Thank you.